Hi everybody, it's Jilly here. I'm just wondering if this is all connected. Had a few computer glitches this morning, so I am holding a selfie stick and I'm going to try and hold it very still so that I'm not shaking the whole time. So I'm just waiting for people to come onto the call, so we'll just give them a little minute until the live call starts to show up in the Natural Eczema Support Group, so that you can all join. And when you do join, I'd really love you to say hi and to put down whereabouts you are from. I'd love to know what country you're from. So I live in New Zealand. I live in Tauranga, which is a lovely... Hi Mike, how are you? First to join. It's nice that someone is watching. So yeah, I live in Tauranga, and it's a beautiful coastal town in New Zealand. It's winter here at the moment, so it's still fairly mild. All of our seasons are fairly mild. So Mike's from Christchurch, that's good to know. And we've got Nana Knowles from Christchurch. So awesome, good to see some people from the South Island making an appearance. I think we're going to have some people coming on later on into the call, and also I'm going to put this into the group so that anyone can see this call. So I wanted to start off just with sharing a little bit about my own journey with eczema. And I had eczema basically since I was born. So I came in with, not the moment I was born, but pretty much 3 months with immunisations and with taking solid food. I began to get all of the rashes and everything, and like so many of you that I talk to all the time, I was put on steroids. And so I went on steroids for pretty much the first 20 years of my life, and the steroids got progressively stronger and stronger and stronger until I was in my 20s, and I was put on prednisone. And if any one of you have been on prednisone, and feel free to pop it in the comments as well, you'll know that that's fairly intense. It does get rid of the symptoms of eczema, but as I found out, and as many of you will know, it really is just a short-term solution to what is often, for many, a long-term issue. So when I was in my 20s, I really got to the point where I thought, this is ridiculous. These steroids, they're managing the symptoms, but it's not getting any better. It's not getting to the root cause. And so I began a 20-year and counting journey looking into natural therapies. I started studying natural therapies. I studied aromatherapy, anatomy and physiology, all sorts of nutrition, and basically any information I could get my hands on. And I remember talking to one naturopath early on in the piece, and he said to me, and a lot of you will relate to this, he said, you know, when something plays out on the skin, people really, really want to find a solution. If it's something internal, we don't worry so much, but you know, eczema has a huge social stigma as well, and my heart really goes out to people, especially I think teenagers. I think that's probably one of the hardest times to cope with eczema, and the social stigma that's associated with it. So I started on this journey of natural therapies, and I started using myself as a human guinea pig, trying out all of these concoctions that I'd make, and I also began working naturopathically. I looked at my whole diet, as many of you will have done. I went gluten-free, dairy-free, started healing the gut, did all of that, still had eczema. It was beyond frustrating. Here I was, working, training, helping other people, but I couldn't actually help myself. And I really went on for 20 years, this journey of trying different things. At the same time, I was still going to the top dermatologists in New Zealand trying to find a cure. I remember one in particular. I went there, and his latest model BMW had the number plate allergy. And I thought, oh God, here's someone who's paid a lot of money. I was in there for 15 minutes, and he basically told me what I'd heard my whole life, which was it's incurable. You have to manage it with Lemnis fatty cream or oily cream and steroids. So you could say that I've done every kind of modality and tried many, many, many different things. I went down a whole path with many natural therapies as well. No stone was left unturned, believe me. I did past life regression, emotional healing, worked on the whole mind, body, soul. So what happened was, about 2 years ago, I was lying on the floor like a wounded animal. I had blood, I was itching. Sorry, always get a bit emotional telling this story. And I was lying on the floor thinking, I just don't even want to live in this body anymore. It was just so physically uncomfortable. And so I just thought, I've tried everything. What more can I possibly do? What more can I do? And I believe that in that moment, I really sort of gave up trying. And I just said to the universe, I need a miracle. Within 2 weeks' time, the ingredients for my balm came together. And I know for a lot of people, this seems like just this massive sales pitch, or this kind of, even to me, it seems unbelievable. 2 weeks later, the ingredients for my balm came together. And, this is years of research, years and years and years of research. And the things that I discovered that made the balm work so well for me and has taken away 97% of my eczema. And you can look online, you can see my before and after results. I mean, this is the real deal. This is no BS. But some of the things that I learnt, and some of the things that I'm going to share with you now, are things that we are not being told about our eczema. And they're actually really, really basic things. So they're things that I share in my book, My Eczema Journey. That's free to download for anyone on my website, eczemabalm.com. It's a short ebook, and it just details some things that, were just kind of like aha moments where I kind of realized what needed to come together in one balm that would help to heal the skin, because eczema relates to obviously lots of different skin conditions that are fiery and red and irritated in nature. And what I've discovered with doing lots of one-on-one sessions with people and talking to so many people with eczema, I'm sent so many different body parts, I have to tell you, all the time. And, the thing is that a lot of people are being treated for eczema. And what is actually happening is not an eczema condition. It's not something that's even going to be helped by steroids. A lot of what is on the skin is actually fungal or bacterial in nature. So the whole treatment of eczema, it's all been bundled into one. There's not a lot of precise information out there. So I'm very, very passionate about sharing what I've learnt with others. And I'm particularly passionate about helping people to manage eczema with babies. Baby skin is 50 times more sensitive than an adult skin. And everything you put onto your skin is absorbed into your blood within 30 seconds. So steroid creams and a lot of those moisturizers, which are full of so many chemicals and nasty sodium lauryl sulfate and all of that sort of stuff, they're just not great for any of us, but they're particularly not great for babies and for children. So I am very passionate about educating people about natural ways to deal with eczema. So let's get to the good stuff to help you on your journey. So one of the key things that I learnt, and this is something I write about in the book, is about the staph infection. So this was a real wake-up call for me. So I don't know whether many of you know about this. Maybe you can pop it in the comments if you do, if you've been told about the staph infection. So what I learned is that people with eczema have a higher level of staph or bacteria on the skin, even in places that aren't affected by eczema. Okay, so just take a moment to process that. So even though, like for many of us, eczema might play out in the creases, the elbows and the wrists, behind the knees, all that sort of jazz, even on other parts of the skin that don't actually have eczema, there's a higher level of staph infection. So when I learned this, I thought, right, well, there has to be something that we can do, because the staph creates part of the itch. So this was a lightning bolt moment. The staph creates part of the itch. Okay, so if you have an irritation on your skin, if you don't itch it, it will be fine. But let's face it, If there's anyone here that's had eczema, come on, you cannot stop itching it. It's so itchy. My husband used to say, just don't itch it. I was like, oh, if you had it for just one moment, you would know how irritating it is. You just do anything. And, you know, it kind of makes me laugh when people say, oh, cut children's nails to manage it. Yes, that's one thing you can do. But, I mean, children will find a way to itch that eczema because it's, yeah, torment. Anyway, so the staph relates to the itch-scratch cycle. So let's look at a way that we can actually manage the staph infection. So that's why I have put in the balm colloidal silver and iodine. So both of these things are natural ways of dealing with an infection or inflammation on the skin, so topically. Okay, so right away, wherever you are in the world, even if you can't get access to my balm, have a look at using some colloidal silver on the skin if it's showing signs of infection. So for a lot of people, their skin starts off, it's itchy, then they itch it, then it becomes cracked, and that is when the infection can get in. Cracked skin, I mean, this is our suit.